So let me start this video off so there's no confusion. I don't think the Eagles deserve to make the playoffs. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys deserve to make the playoffs. I don't think any team in the NFC East deserves to make the playoffs. But you know what? What I feel doesn't matter. Because the reality of the situation is one of these teams are going to win the division. And they're going to win the division and they're going to host a playoff game. And oh, by the way, they're going to have a good chance to win that home playoff game. So if that's the case and a team is going to win the NFC East, you're damn right. I want it to be the Eagles.
Still the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Scary Cooper, asshole.
Oh, Diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks. For all those Eagle fans that have been frustrated over the last 3 weeks, for all you Eagle fans who are still hoping that we can make the playoffs, this is for you. It's eggnog time, yo. Yo, everybody, how you doing? Can't think back here. And I'm feeling good today. I'm watching football. A lot of interesting games are on. And you know what? I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better, not just because I've been drinking gallons of eggnog all week, but because I'm ready. I'm ready to move on from that Dolphins game. That game pissed me off. It almost broke me. I was mad all week. I was so mad I just couldn't even focus on the Giants coming up. I couldn't focus on things because I was frustrated. I was frustrated to the point where I didn't even want to do a Giant Eagles prediction video yesterday because I wasn't ready to move on. I wasn't ready to move on, but you know what? Today I am. Today I am. That game was a week ago. It's time to turn the page and get ready for the stinking Giants. It is time to go on Monday Night Football wearing our black jerseys and double moonwalk Eli Manning's ass one last time. Maybe not the last time, but second to last time. Time to double moonwalk that ass. Now, I know it's frustrating. I know we don't have the team that we thought we did, going into the season. I know it's hard. It's hard to imagine that this team could go very far in the playoffs. It's near impossible. It's near impossible. But I still want to win this division. I still want to win this division. And the Eagles and the Cowboys, they're not deserving of winning a division or a playoff game. There is a team that is going to have a better record that deserves to be in the playoffs that won't, because the Eagles or Dallas will get in. But that's how football works. That's how the divisions work. And that's the way it is. And as long as this team can make the playoffs, I want them to make it. I want them to make it. I think it's very important, and thinking about just the whole playoff scenario and what's going on and where the Eagles are. I got to tell you, I don't think this team has played its best football yet. I still think their best football is in front of them. This is a team that hasn't really gone on a streak yet this year. They haven't had complete games. Either the offense stinks and the defense plays good, or the defense plays bad and the offense plays good. We haven't had a complete game. It has not happened. It hasn't. And can it? That's the question. I think it can. I think it can. We are going to have deficiencies. We are not going to have all the weapons that we thought we did. We're going to have trouble scoring at times. There's all those things. But that doesn't mean everybody can't do a better job. If Doug Peterson does a better job, if Mike Groh does a better job, if they start rolling Carson out, getting him out of the pocket, playing to his strengths, and if Carson Wentz can elevate his game, and the defense can come together, this is a team that can win the division. And if they win the division, they get a home playoff game. And it'll be against somebody like Seattle, maybe somebody like Minnesota, somebody like that at home. I think they can win that game. And the importance of getting a playoff game for your quarterback, and who's in his fourth year, hasn't played one playoff game, is very, very, very important. Okay? Now, making the playoffs, going on a run, anything like that does not change does not change the plans in the offseason. Does not change my opinion that you have to fire Mike Groh. It does not change my opinion that you have to change your offense from a Deacon Dunk, Alex Smith, Kansas City Chiefs offense to a vertical Patrick Mahomes type offense. Meaning, you're going to have to change the kind of players you get. You're going to have to look for fast wide receivers and all those kind of things. We've talked about it a million times. We're going to talk about it a million more times before this is all said and done. But in the short term, for the rest of this year, I think the Eagles can win this division. I think that if they do win the division, that would mean that they are playing their best football because they're going to have to win out. Okay? So if the Eagles can win out, that means they would be going into the playoffs with what? A 4-game winning streak? That would be the most all year. And you know what? They would be playing their best football. They would gain some confidence. They would have a big game, a big win against Dallas, who I don't know what's going on with Dallas. I feel like they're kind of quitting on their coach, just the way it is. But if the Eagles can get into the playoffs and win the division, host a playoff game at home, it could get very interesting. I would love to see a situation where Carson Wentz can elevate his game, can fix all the mistakes that he's made. And he's made some, and believe me, he's not the big problem on this team, not at all. But learning to be an elite quarterback, learning to take that next step, this is where he can do it. This is where he can do it through all the problems, through all the frustrations, through all the struggling. To come out of that and elevate your game would be huge for us, and it would change a lot of people's opinion going into next year about what kind of quarterback we have. And I'll tell you this, I believe in Carson Wentz. I believe in the North Dakota Assassin. I believe he's a very good quarterback. I believe he's gotten the shaft all year. Okay? I believe he's also, in later weeks, against Seattle, against New England, he struggled. He struggled because he's trying to do too much. He's pressing. When you're pressing, you start to lose your mechanics. And all those things have contributed. But at the same time, you don't have coaches that scheme wide receivers open. You don't have coaches that have rolled him out, got him out of the pocket. They haven't done all those kind of things until really last week. They did that some, and it paid dividends. But, if the Eagles can make the playoffs, I think they could do damage. And I know this is crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But if things line up the right way and they can make the playoffs, I think they could do damage. And here's why I say it. The Eagles, like I said, have not played good football all year. They haven't had a stretch where they've been hot. They've gone on a streak. They are playing good football on both sides of the field. If they do that, and they come together right now, they're going to get hot in the playoffs. Okay, let's say you have a situation where, let's say you get to the playoffs, you get a home playoff game. Let's say you're playing at home against the Vikings or Seattle. It's a tough game, no question, but it's winnable. Now, let's say you win that game. Okay, and let's say the Niners hold on and beat the Saints today. They wind up with the number 1 seed overall. Okay, and you have to go, let's say, play San Francisco in week 2 or round 2 of the playoffs. I like that matchup. I like it. You're going up against a team that hasn't really been to the playoffs, inexperienced. They may just be glad to be there. They may be primed for an upset. And you beat them, then who knows what can happen. All I'm saying is we have seen this before. We have seen teams get hot in the playoffs, barely get in, and then go and win it all. New York Giants did it. The Eagles in 2008, if you remember, they needed a ton of help. They get into the playoffs. They go and they beat the best team in the league at the time, which was the Giants, who I believe were the defending Super Bowl champions. And they go to the NFC Championship game. They didn't win it, but they got there. Now, I'm not claiming that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that they're even going to win the second round of playoffs. All I'm saying is this team is a team that has not played their best. They have not played their best football. They haven't. We saw Dallas. They start 3-0. They've been struggling down the stretch. The Eagles haven't been playing good from the beginning of the season. Okay? You have a team like Dallas that cannot beat a team over 500. Okay? They haven't. So, yeah, if you're a Dallas fan and you have to play one of these teams that's over 500, you're going to be scared. The Eagles, they've beaten good teams. They have gone to Green Bay and won. They have beat Buffalo in Buffalo. They have beaten good teams who are, some of the best teams in the league right now. They have done it. They can do it. The Eagles seem to play down to their competition. They do. And that scares the hell out of me about tomorrow. And I'm very scared about tomorrow's game. I'm very scared about the Redskins game. I don't have confidence 100% that the Eagles are just going to blow these teams out. I don't have it. I don't have it. But if the Eagles get in the playoffs, it most likely means that they've won their last 4 games. They beat Dallas in a big game for the division, and they're going to have a home playoff game with confidence. Now, maybe you get a little lucky and Deshaun Jackson comes back. Now everything changes. The Eagles could be a scary team in the playoffs if they get their crap together. You know what I mean? If they mother hump and get their crap together, they have a chance. They have a chance to do damage. Do they have a chance to win Super Bowl? I don't think they could beat New Orleans. But you never know. Get in there, you have a puncher shot. You can't do anything if you don't make the playoffs. Eggnog time, yo. It's Christmas time. It's the time for miracles. This is a time of season I love. And I want this team in the playoffs. And I gotta tell you, I think if they can go out and beat the Giants on Monday night, play good football, I think they can carry that momentum in and get a win against Washington. Now, if you've won 2 in a row and you got to play Dallas, who I don't know where they'll be at the time because I think they're quitting on the coach. You play Dallas at home and you win that game. Now you're feeling good about yourselves. Now you got the longest win streak of the season, 3 games. All of a sudden, you're playing the Giants. Maybe you don't need that game. Maybe you do. I don't know. But then you get a home playoff game. They can win that. This team does not deserve to be in the playoffs right now. But in the next 4 weeks, they can earn their spot. They can earn their spot by winning the division. And if they can do that, they're going to be playing their best football going into the playoffs. And if they're playing their best football going into the playoffs, then hey, let's see what happens. Anything can happen. They brought back Marquand Michel. I think you guys saw that. I didn't talk about that. Very happy that they did. I like the kid. I don't think they should ever let him go. He's on the practice squad. I'd like to see him come up. And remember, I'm not saying that they're good enough to go to the playoffs or good enough to win. I'm not saying all that. All I'm saying is the reality of the situation that cannot be ignored is that this team is 1 game out and they can win the division. And if they win the division, they get a home playoff game. And if they get a home playoff game, they're going to have a shot to win that game. And if they win that game and they play the right team and they're feeling good and they're playing their best football and maybe they get Deshaun Jackson back, anything can happen. Anything. And I'm ready for it. You know, let's turn all the frustration, all the pain, all the anger. Let's turn it into something miraculous. Let's see something happen that doesn't happen very often. Let's be a part of that. Let's see what happens. I think the Eagles go in tomorrow. I think they're going to beat the Giants. I think they're going to beat them 31-17, 31-14, somewhere around there. And it's going to be great. And we're going to have to get ready for the Redskins, and we'll see what happens. But yes, we may not get the biggest pick or a top 10 pick if we go to playoffs and we're picking late and all those kind of things. But let's say you have Lamb available and you're picking in the top 10. Do you trust Howie Roseman to pick the right guy? They haven't done it every year. We miss on a lot of picks, especially when it comes to wide receiver. Okay? The Eagles can do what they have to do in the offseason, regardless of how far they go, regardless of what happens. I don't care if they win out, they win the Super Bowl. I want Mike Groh on. I want the style of offense changed. I want all these things to happen regardless. But in the meantime, I want to see Carson Wentz elevate his game. And I think this is a prime time for him to do it. He has struggled. There's been times where he's overthrown guys, even last week. He didn't play good against Seattle. He didn't play good against New England. He got too much blame early in the season when he was the one keeping us in it. But now he has an opportunity. to change the narrative, to change things around, to show that he can elevate his game and elevate his team. This is his time. This is his chance. The biggest game of his career is coming against the Dallas Cowboys. And he will be judged on it. And he will be judged on it by me and by everybody else. So I believe in him. I believe he's going to get this thing turned around. And I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited that we control our own destiny, that we can go to the playoffs, that we could possibly host a playoff game. And yes, we may not be good enough to win the whole thing. I understand all that. But I want a shot. I want to go in there and I want a shot. I want to double moonwalk some ass. And if we get double moonwalked, so be it. But I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm ready for football. I'm ready. 4 games, we win this division. Let's get it done. Let's do it. I'm ready to go. I can't help it. I love the Eagles. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.